The gentleman that you see on my screen, his name is Kevonce Ephriam. I know that was a mouthful. I'll spell it for you. Kevonce, Kevonce. Lamont, Lamont, Ephraim, Ephriam. So that way that you guys can go back and follow the story. 23 years old, and they have charged him with capital murder. Because I know that the family is defending him and they say he's not that type of person. He would not have done this. Something else is wrong. But I'm going to tell you guys this. In most states, they do not charge you with something like capital murder, which means you could spend life in prison or you could get the death penalty. They usually do not charge you with something like that unless they feel like they can get a 100% conviction. Y'all heard that? 100% conviction. That's what they're going for. They believe they have enough evidence to charge him that drastically. That's big time. So bookmark that because we're going to come back to it. We're going to revisit that. Kevonce Lamont Ephriam. That's the biological father, 23 years old, and his son's name. And I want y'all to look at that baby's face. Such a small, beautiful, innocent soul. Look at his face. That baby was named Kassius with a K. Kassius. Kassius Lamont Ephriam was 3 years old. Look at that baby right there. He was pronounced dead Tuesday after officers were called to a home on 101 Darrell Court. Medical examiners ruled the child's death a homicide. An autopsy determined the cause of death to be asphyxiation. You guys heard that. How many of you guys are familiar with the term asphyxiation? You guys know what that means. The child was found unresponsive on Tuesday at a home on Darrell Court. Police said that an autopsy determined the cause of death to be traumatic asphyxiation. So I'll give you the definition. Traumatic asphyxia or Peretz syndrome. I hope I said that right. It is a medical emergency caused by an intense compression of the thoracic cavity, causing venous backflow from the right side of the heart into the veins of the neck and the brain. That sounds like the baby was choked or strangled. That's what it sounds like. But the terminology they used was very specific. Traumatic asphyxiation. Okay? Now, through the investigation, it was determined that the father, Ephriam, where am I at? The victim's biological father was the sole caregiver at the time of death. Now, how rare is that? Not only a man, not only a black man, and not only a young black man at 23 years old was in his kid's life, because we know that all black men are deadbeats, right? That's what they say about us. We're all deadbeats. We all ain't shit. But apparently, somebody thought high enough of him to give him sole custody of a 3-month-old baby. And I don't know if you guys have ever raised a baby, but it is a difficult thing to do because they are very, very needy. And that is just something that takes a lot of patience. A ton of patience. They are beautiful looking. They are precious. There are a lot of amazing things that go into babies, but they are very, very testing on your patience. That's why I believe it takes a lot of people to raise kids, not just one person. Hashtag, where's the biological mom in this story? Ooh-wee. I would love for somebody to figure that out for me and let me know. Grandparents, somebody, cousins, aunts, family, friends, anybody. But we haven't heard from them. Let's move on. The biological father is being held without bond. No bond. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Begin tonight with breaking news out of Jacksonville. Police say a 3-month-old is dead at the hands of his father. Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Donna Terrell.
I'm Kevin Kelly. 23-year-old Kevonce Ephriam is behind bars and charged with capital murder. Our Haley Brooks was in Jacksonville and spoke with neighbors. She joins us live in studio with more on what they told her. Haley.
Donna, Kevin, I spoke with several neighbors who say they had no idea what happened next door. In fact, I was the one who broke the news to all of them.
It's terrible. It's tragic.
In the quiet cul-de-sac of Darrell Court, it's clear there's a lot of kids that live in this neighborhood.
This neighborhood is full of kids and they run around, ride their bikes up and down.
Joshua Byrne has 4 kids himself, and the family lives just 4 doors away from where police say 3-month-old Kassius Ephriam was killed by his own father.
You wouldn't imagine it happening in your neighborhood. The fact that somebody could do that, and it was somebody close, probably came to one of the block parties, and you just never know.
Police say 23-year-old Kevonce Ephriam was the sole caregiver of Kassius when he was murdered. Jacksonville police say the autopsy shows the baby boy was killed by traumatic asphyxiation.
You wouldn't think that would happen. It's tragic.
Byrne and other neighbors say they never saw the baby boy and had no idea what happened at the end of the street.
I'm devastated for the rest of the family. I can't imagine why or how somebody would do that. But I'm sure there's other relatives and things that are going to be just crushed.
The father is currently at the Pulaski County Jail being held with no bond, and a court date has not yet been set. Donna, Kevin, back to you.
And tonight at 10 o'clock, we start with tragic news coming out of Jacksonville. Police say a 3-month-old is dead at the hands of his father. 23-year-old Kevonce Ephriam is behind bars and charged with capital murder. Our Haley Brooks was in Jacksonville tonight. She's joining us now in the studio with more.
That's right, Haley. What did they have to say?
Bob Ashley, I spoke with several neighbors who say they had no idea what happened next door. In fact, I was the one who broke the news to all of them.
It's terrible. It's tragic.
In the quiet cul-de-sac of Darrell Court, it's clear there's a lot of kids that live in this neighborhood.
This neighborhood is full of kids and they run around, ride their bikes up and down.
Joshua Byrne has 4 kids himself, and the family lives just 4 doors away from where police say 3-month-old Kassius Ephriam was killed by his own father.
You wouldn't imagine it happening in your neighborhood. The fact that somebody could do that, and it was somebody close, probably came to one of the block parties, and you just never know.
Police say 23-year-old Kevonce Ephriam was the sole caregiver of Kassius when he was murdered. Jacksonville police say the autopsy shows the baby boy was killed by traumatic asphyxiation.
You wouldn't think that would happen. It's tragic.
Byrne and other neighbors say they never saw the baby boy and had no idea what happened at the end of the street.
I'm devastated for the rest of the family. I can't imagine why or how somebody would do that. But I'm sure there's other relatives and things that are going to be just crushed.
The father is currently at the Pulaski County Jail being held with no bond, and a court date has not yet been set. Bob Ashley, back to you.
I'm not going to judge him by his tattoos. I'm not going to judge him by the type of company that he keeps, because I'm just saying I went through his Facebook page while it was still active, and I saw some things that were indicative of a young man who was kind of living maybe the thug life. I don't know anything about him personally, but I'm just saying when they say pictures speak 1,000 words, I saw some things on there that made me think, But that doesn't make him a killer. That doesn't make him a bad father. That doesn't make him a criminal by any means. You can hang out with whoever you want to hang out with. You can have as many tattoos as you want to. You can throw up as many finger signs as you want to. That does not make you a bad person, and it damn sure doesn't mean that you need to be charged with capital murder either. But I will tell you this. Based on the track history of the police and the courts, they usually do not charge somebody with that extreme, that definitive of a charge like capital murder unless they feel 100% positive that they can get a conviction. Do y'all hear what I just said? They usually feel pretty confident that they have enough evidence, that they believe enough of the story about what they believe is going on, that whatever it is happened to this little innocent little baby? Let me get his face back up on the screen, because I'm going to tell you guys something. There is absolutely nothing that this baby could have done to make anybody that upset at all. I mean, he is just the most innocent looking baby. And my God, if we could turn the hands back on the clock, I'd take it my damn self if I had to. I'm sure a lot of the people in the chat, they're just like, hey, we need somebody to take this baby. I know there's somebody out there, there's a loving family that would have taken that baby. Rather than him losing his life like that. Look at his face. This baby's name was Kassius Ephriam. He was only 3 months old. Such a precious baby. And I'm going to tell you guys something. Because I know that the aunt is probably watching my stream, or some other people out there in Arkansas are probably watching my stream. Based on what I saw with his interactions on video with that baby, and based on the pictures that he took, there's only so much you can know. You can have a snap judgment. I understand that. But it looked like he really, really loved his son. He's a beautiful baby. And the fact that this father was willing to be there to raise his son, like, you know what? I got it. I'm going to take care of it. Because it sounded like the mom wasn't shit at all. And it sounded like the mom made shitty decision after shitty decision after shitty decision. Yes? It is rare in our time, even though we know the real truth, but the perception of black men, it is rare in this time that you find somebody that will love them kids regardless of who brought them into this world, and like, I'm going to take responsibility and I'm going to take care of him. That's already rare as it is. I personally believe that there's a lot more going on in this story. That's my honest opinion. The fact of what he was charged with, they could have charged him for involuntary manslaughter. They could have charged him with extreme child abuse. There's a lot of things that they could have charged him with. But the fact that they said capital murder, that means that it was premeditated and that it was intentional. Look up capital murder in Arkansas and y'all tell me what the definition is of it. That means that 23-year-old man right there is either going to spend his entire life in prison, or worse, the state of Arkansas is going to kill him. They're going to give him the death penalty. That's what capital murder gets you. So for this baby to end up dead, I just believe that there is more to this story than what meets the eye. The very, very last thing that makes this thing just almost dead certain that he's going to get convicted is the type of charge. So for the family, understand, I'm not putting that on this dude. Y'all know I'm pretty fair. I usually call it how it is. But the fact that they put that on this dude is going to be very damning, and it's going to be very hard to disprove based on whatever evidence they have. But all I know is whatever happened, that it seemed like this baby was doomed from the moment he was born, from the womb that this young man chose to procreate with. That womb of that mother seemed like that she's a terrible person based on what we know. She lost custody of her kids, and there's nobody that speaks highly about her, and she didn't have custody of the kids. Those are three horrible ass things for a mom in 2020. They give you every out. They give you assistance in every shape, form, or fashion. Y'all tell me, am I lying? Do they not help mothers out with every single thing that they need? Pretty much. From housing, to food, to medical, even car vouchers. Literally to take care of your entire life just because you bore children. And for you to still lose, and child support, sorry, I did miss that, thank you, child support. He's going to need a damn good lawyer. The family's going to have to figure that out. That's up to them to figure that out. I personally cannot advocate for that because I know how steep that capital murder charge is. And that means that there is something that they believe that he did was dead as wrong. Period. We cannot skip that. Regardless of how many good days he had, you cannot have an effed up day like this. Point blank, period. Traumatic asphyxiation is intent. That is intentional. Okay? Now, he does not have a bond, which is also indicative of somebody who got a capital murder charge, but his next court appearance is scheduled for April 23rd. For other people that want to follow this story, that man's name, the biological father's name, is Kevonce, Kevonce, like Kev and then once, Kevonce, Lamont Ephriam, Ephriam, 23 years old. Follow this case. Look up information. If you guys know what else is going on, if you guys know the aunt or anybody that wants to reach out to me, my email address, do not inbox me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Email me. That's what the email is for. The AFC Matters at gmail.com. THEAFC Matters at gmail.com. Type it in. Send me a message. Contact me. I will get back to you. I get back to pretty much everybody. Everybody knows that, right? So, to that little baby, it seemed like he was doomed from the moment he was born, and it's very sad because he seemed to be a very beautiful little kid, and I just wish that we advocate for all children. But this one really hits my soul because, you know, with me doing black stories mean more to me because I understand the black experience. I know what it's like to be a father. I was only a year older than him when I had my daughter. He's 23, I was 24. I was very prepared and very ready for me to have my daughter, which is why we have such a great relationship to this day. I was ready to be a dad, and I'm so thankful I talked to my daughter today, and it is just an absolute honor to be her father. We need more fathers like that, and the fact that he had a chance, and this chance seems to have been squandered for whatever reason, is just really, really sad, okay? Make sure you guys follow this story. Please make sure that you guys like, share, and subscribe to the AFC podcast. The AFC means we advocate for children first. This is your boy DJ Just J. To this young man, Kassius Lamont Ephriam, 3 months old, young prince, R.I.P. May God rest your soul. Talk to you guys later. That's the end of the stream. Peace.